Earth. Smokey wants to say hi. He just wants to be in the picture, I guess. So, I'm going to address a lot of questions on here that I've been getting. Intense backaches. Is this part of the ascension process? Yes, it is. And one way to relieve some of the pressure, because the human aspect, the condensed vessel of the body, that carbon-based density is your shadows, is your energy blockages. That's what you guys have been releasing. And the higher in frequency you go, and especially through this eclipse, bringing embodiment fully into the physical vessels, your lower three chakras, a lot of it dissipates the higher in frequency you go. And so as far as the lower backache, this is where yoga really comes in. This is where yoga stretching is very beneficial. It's stretching of the spine, your prana tube, stretching of your joints. This is what Qigong, Tai Chi is very beneficial for those that partake in those. I love Qigong. I love it. It really gets the Qi in your body if you do it first thing in the morning. It really gets the Qi going. It loosens the joints, and that's the benefit of rotating your hips with your lower back. If you can, rotate them in a figure eight. And it gets painful. I know it gets painful. But the more you do that, the more all of that block energy, which is what all this light encoded filaments is bringing in, it's hitting your lower three chakras. And your root chakra, the area of your sexual organs, your lower back, your hips, your thighs, your vaginal area or your scrotum area for the gentleman. This is where a lot of blocked energy of distrust, which is the final veil, abandonment, rejection, and denial, the second final veil that you guys are piercing through as these eclipse energies as fully integrate, as now we have come out of that stargate of ascension. And so it hurts. I get that it hurts. And to the human, it hurts intensely. But guys, right, wrong, or indifferent on how you feel about this, pain too is an illusion. Your mind has been programmed to focus on pain, hurt, destruction, betrayal. Your mind has been programmed to focus on the hurt of pain, the discomfort of pain. And yes, I understand it's very real to our human vessels. It seems very real, but it's very real to our mind. But just as with anything, you can overwrite the definition of pain, if you will. And you will find that if you step into the pain, remember, communicate with your vessels. Allow your vessel to become your consciousness rather than the subliminal programming of the label, name, personality, identification that you've been shaped and formed into. It's the human incarnate that you're allowing to die right now, so you can become infinite, immortal, eternal as a crystalline light body. And so, yes, it hurts, but if you can stretch your way through some of this, and it's necessary to stretch. Some of you are guided to lay still, sit still. You're still going to end up having to go through the discomfort and the pain once you're told that you can get up and start moving again, because blocked energy is blocked energy regardless. And so even if it hurts and you do it just a little bit, try and get that energy moving, because any pain, disease, illness stems from blocked energy. And so if you can even just a little bit move it and get it flowing a little bit, that's going to benefit you in the long run. What's another thing that somebody said? Throat chakras are being upgraded. Your eyesight, the blurry eyesight, that's being upgraded. That's all part of it. Right, really bad, sharp discomfort in your right shoulders, from like your shoulder blade up through about right here on your neck. Feels like you're being stabbed. You want the truth of anything, look at the opposite. Look at the polarity. As a human incarnate in the 3D experience, you've had a lot of swords stabbed in your back, if you will. As we go through, as we integrate these energies, these light-encoded filaments, if you will, the swords are being pulled out of your back, if you will, and healed. At the same time, it feels like pinpricks or needle pricks all over your body, or maybe just in certain areas of your body. Again, your thought consciousness frequency has ascended to Gaia's ascended state frequency. And so your light body consciousness is merging and becoming the vessel, rather than the vessel identifying that it's the vessel, if you will. I don't know if that makes sense to you. I can't see your guys' comments. I don't know why I can't see your comments. So if you're making comments, I can't see them. I don't know why I can't see them on my phone. What else? Let's see. All right, here's something. For the human incarnate that's ascending to a higher frequency, and this is important to understand, because this is what's happening right now. There's those that you ascend the soul. When you're incarnated, you ascend the soul. You human is aware of the 5 physical aspects of love, the 5 senses. You're disconnected from the 6, which is spirit. Now, as you ascend your soul, the higher frequency, as you ascend the frequency within you, the higher frequencies descend, if you will. For those of us that have walked in, or the ascended masters that have been unseen on your journeys, yada, 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 the higher you guys rise in frequency, the lower we rise down. Where you've had the 5 physical senses of love, if you will, attributes, let's look at it that way, attributes of love, and have been veiled from spirit, those and the others that are descending down to walk hand in hand, side by side with you, if you will, they have the 5 elements, air, earth, wind, fire, ether, and they're disconnected from the physical, if you will, or veiled from the physical. As above, so below. As below, so above. That's where the 2 are merged at the center. Let's start over. The median point is the 6. So for those incarnated humans that are ascending, you guys have been veiled from the 6, which is spirit. For those descending, they've been veiled from the physical, if you will. The full merging, which equals the 1, 1, 5 plus 6, 5 plus the 6 is 11. That, there is no longer that separation once we came out of this Stargate of the Trinity of Eclipses. So now, on the physical, tangible, human aspect, this is where you're morphing. Your outside world now is going to morph to that thought consciousness. If you observe going forward, you're going to observe and see where thoughts that are not of the highest frequency of love, if you will. Those thoughts that come in, your human aspect doesn't attach to them like it used to. If you observe, you will, things that you disliked even last week, you know, things that you have shared, you're going to find, like animal abuse, this, that, and the other, you're going to find you have absolutely no desire to even engage in it. And you're going to find that in many, many ways. If you just observe, your thought consciousness has totally shifted. For those that are fully ascending, the thought consciousness in everybody else too has shifted, but not necessarily as much as it is for those that are fully ascending into embodiment of that Omega consciousness, that Christ Sophia template, or Christos Sophia, if you will. What else? Let's see. It's really necessary at this point, guys. And again, validate anything I say within. Always. You're going to find that truly you're going to be pushed in every way to start seeing, thinking, speaking, acting, doing from a space of what I'm going to describe as brand new or amnesia. So I made a post many times about this, not recently. Your journey has been a journey to remembering, just to forget again. And right now you're at the stage of you're being asked to forget. Forget the tree of good and evil in the sense of being all-knowing, so you can allow yourself to be brand new. Literally brand new. Not just saying as a human that I want a new life, I want a new beginning, I want to start over. And you move to another town and you start over from scratch, or you get married, or this, that, and the other, and you begin a family. Not new like that. Being born new. Just as if you veiled yourself and incarnated as a young baby and you had to learn, grow up. The difference is you're being born as a mature soul rather than an incarnate. And in order to have brand new, guys, to be born, we're not talking resurrected, we're not talking rebirthed, we're not talking reborn. We're talking born. Brand new. No memories of the past. It's as if you had amnesia all over again. The only difference is, truly, this is a dance we've never danced before. And individually is the only one that can change that and allow that. Are you going to lose the knowledge gained from all your experiences in the experimental matrix grid of the tree of good and evil? No. That knowledge is going to be is and has been transferred to the Akashic Living Library of the Earth. Oh wow, that's right. School started today. The school bus just August 15th and school starting already. My goodness. Kids should be out in nature. Anyways, beside the point. So, if you can focus on seeing everything brand new, it's going to assist in rapidly morphing the outside tangible physical plane. The more you catch yourself where you're trying to bring in the stories and the stresses and the worries and the concerns from yesterday into today. And when you go to sleep tonight, empty your cup again. Okay, Spirit, return all to the light that is not brand new, that is not benefiting the highest good of all. You know? And you come to a space, you know, I was asking Spirit on the way home. I said, Spirit, I said, am I ever going to be able to think like an individual again? And I said, or am I always going to see it from the whole? And because that's the biggest thing is for me is like the human aspect. That's the one thing I get more denied from, rejected from, and abandoned from humanity. And so Spirit was showing me a whole lot of things, and I had asked Spirit, I said, will I ever be able to see it that way? And Spirit said, not really, because we're going into a space where we're all the thought consciousness in and of itself. We all will have uniqueness. We will all have a unique lens of perspective as well as the expanded perspective. But truly, our thought consciousness is one for all. Because in that frequency, there's full understanding even in the mind consciousness of the vessel, the avatar that we use. There's that full consciousness awareness that what we do for one, we do for all. And so that's the thought consciousness that is going to be very prevalent as far as the 144th geometric circuitry bloodline. And you're going to find that even though there's so much chaos and turbulence, because we are those pillars of light, and we are those pillars of peace, we are the vessels that the light runs through us, shines through us, radiates through us, that it's so much more calm and easier to do that. And if you observe, you can really see your whole mannerisms changing. You're seeing a whole deeper truth and a whole deeper clarity to, let's say, what you thought was truth in other frequencies. You know, take for example the saying, stop and smell the roses. You know, when you first start your journey, stop and smell the roses literally means stop and smell the flower. You know, higher in frequency and farther in your journey you get, you understand that it's a metaphor. It means slow down. You know, enjoy life while you can. Don't let go of the busyness. You know, and so as those blissful harmonic frequencies of your thought consciousness that has shifted fully integrates, your whole outlook on the outer world changes. You're going to see where forming an emotional attachment to things, to people, no longer feels right. And you're coming into a deeper clarity and a deeper truth in your consciousness going forward, that emotional bonds is what you want, not emotional attachments. And that's a beautiful thing that's occurring right now. And it's occurring, the more it occurs within us who are aware, the more we carry that whole mass collective to consciousness with us. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a really beautiful thing. So, all of these energies right now, all of the distortions and the skin being itchy, your skin is breathing right now. It's as it's all of this light encoded filament coming in. Your skin is breathing for your body, and the itchy, and it's like a snake shedding its skin. Spend as much time in natural water as you can right now. Rivers, lakes, streams, oceans, seas, because that natural water is grounding this electricity in. It's grounding it into your vessels, it's grounding it into the earth, it's grounding so it doesn't short circuit. Because electricity is fire. Nausea is really strong right now. It is for me. And a lot of sleep. Somebody was telling me I slept 12 hours. A lot of upgrades to the body go on in dream time. We're in healing chambers, and so if you're waking up with bruises or bumps or this, that, and the other, that's not unusual with the upgrades, because our light body is not our flesh. And the more light we take in, the more our flesh dissipates, expands out. And that's why we don't die a physical death, and we have to allow our physical personality that you've known as the human incarnate in this lifetime die. Because we don't die a physical death this time. We're not reincarnating. We're literally being born. And the difference is the light will expand. The flesh is condensed light. The more light you take in, the more your flesh expands. The condensed light expands out instead of like this. And the more it expands out, the more the thinner the skin in the flesh becomes, until you're full light. And that's what's occurring for us. And right now, it's literally, you can take in as much light as you can take in. And the more you empty out or overwrite, or whatever label you need to give that thought consciousness of good and evil, and master your words, master your energy, master what you're creating through your thoughts, through your emotions, through your feelings. And the more you do that, the more light you can anchor into your vessel, and the more rapidly you expand out your vessel of condensed light into a full light body. Oh, Laura, you're welcome. Hey, why'd those comments disappear? What happened? Hey, somebody type something for me, would you? So I can, oh, there you go. Margie, I was looking at my lifetime of photos this week and I feel nothing. I might as well be looking at a stranger. And that's actually interesting, she says. Margie, that's actually good. My trip back to Spokane was to get my things. When I came to Texas, I came here to visit. I didn't come here to live. And I've been knowing I was going to take this trip. All right, let me back up a sec. I knew, I did not know I was going to take the trip to get my stuff at this particular time. However, in my diary, in my journals, I've known for 3 years that I was going to make this trip of zero pointing and activating the Continental Divide and the grand union of the fault lines and everything else, which is what I did on this trip. I've been aware of that for 3 years. At this time this year, mind you. Now, I didn't know how it was going to take place because I haven't had a vehicle and whatnot. So, when it all started to play out, if you will, as I was going and I did all the activations, yada, 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 Spirit was really showing me how I was zero pointing all aspects, my feminine aspect and that role in this lifetime of mine, of Linda, the masculine, and then the time frame of the last 5 years since I walked into this vessel. And as I was asking, because I talk to spirit just like I talk to you guys. Um, I can carry on a conversation with spirit like that, and as I'm driving along, so yeah, it's like, Father, explain this to me or give me deeper clarity, please. And so I was given the deeper clarity of that's literally how we are allowing our human personality to die that physical death. And so, Margie, when you say it's like looking at a stranger, it is because you are. You are not, none of us are who we were yesterday. None of us are who we were a week ago, a month ago, let alone a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And every moment, excuse me, my phone was ringing. Every moment we are brand new. And the more, and again, the more you can train self-discipline, not self-discipline yourself, the more your mind, the more easier and more graceful this is going to become. The more you're able to master your mastery, master your emotions, master everything the spirit has been showing you, but your mind couldn't wrap around, if that makes sense. What else? I don't know what else. So know that, you know, the best thing you guys can do for yourselves right now truly is rest and allow this integration for the next week. It's going to be magical, but you have to choose to see the magic in everything that's occurring within and without. And right now, all you have to do, Father, Spirit, God, whatever word you use, however you communicate to the light within your vessel, right now, it's about pretty much instantly receiving. And if you observe and practice, you will find what you ask for will present itself fairly quickly. I love you guys. Have a good afternoon. Big, big, big hugs and blessings. I hope that helps. And just message me some messages. I'll get back to them eventually, guys. Or if you have a bunch of questions you want me to answer for you on a video, I'll do it. But more than likely here on YouTube. I'm not spending much time on Facebook. So, I love you guys. Have a great night. And you got this. Together we got it. Bye, guys.